Juno and the Star Lantern. Juno was a curious 9-year-old girl who lived in a small fishing village by the sea, and every night she climbed the hill behind her house to watch the stars and dream of faraway places. And one evening, after she helped her grandmother wash the dishes, she saw a strange light on the shore. So she ran down the sandy path with her lantern and found an old brass lantern with 6 of its 7 glass panels broken. And as she picked it up, she heard a soft voice whisper, "Please help me shine again," which made her heart beat fast with both fear and excitement. So she wrapped the cold lantern in her shawl, tucked a small key she always wore around her neck into her pocket, and hurried home to find her friend Leo, a brave 10-year-old boy who loved puzzles and building things. The next morning Juno showed Leo the lantern and the key, and when Leo cleaned the rust from the brass, he found a tiny inscription on the bottom that read, "Seek 7 star crystals and I will glow." So they packed a bag with jars, rope, a map of the old forest paths, 2 sandwiches, 2 bottles of water, and a small notebook to record clues. Then set off under a bright sun toward the forest that lay beyond the last cottage, where the tall pine trees smelled sweet and the ground was soft with moss. And after walking for a while they reached a broad stream that sang over smooth stones, and there they met a friendly frog sitting on a lily pad who asked if they could free his friend trapped under a fallen branch in the shallows. Juno and Leo waded into the cool water to lift the branch with careful pushes, and when the frog thanked them he pointed them to a hidden pool behind a curtain of ferns where they found the first crystal, a red one that glowed warm like sunrise, and they placed it in a jar before climbing the riverbank to hunt for the second crystal. Deeper in the forest they discovered a hollow oak tree where an old squirrel lived with its family, and when Juno offered her sandwich crumbs, the squirrel chattered happily and led them to a mossy log where they found an orange crystal shining like a drop of sunset. And after they replaced the glass on the lantern's orange panel, the lantern glowed a soft warm light that danced on the leaves. Leo checked his map and showed Juno the spot marked Bluebell Meadow. So they followed a winding deer trail until they reached a field of blue flowers swaying in the breeze, and among them lay the third crystal, blue like the midday sky. So they gathered it and tucked it into their bag. Then they shared the second sandwich under a tall birch and admired the sunlight filtering through the branches. Next the path climbed a rocky hill where they met a young fox cub that whimpered beside a broken den, and Juno and Leo used their rope to mend the fallen sticks, and when the fox's mother returned she offered them a green crystal that she had hidden for kind travelers. And the lantern's green panel glowed like fresh spring leaves. Feeling proud, the children crossed a wooden bridge rickety with age and entered a dark pine grove where they heard a guiding song, and there they found a little owl tangled in fishing line. So Leo gently cut the line with his pocket knife, freeing the owl, who hooted gratefully and revealed a gold crystal hidden in a nest of straw. And when they set it into the lantern, the gold panel shone like midday sunbeams. With 5 crystals in hand they walked toward the cliff that overlooked the sea. And at the cliff's edge they saw a circle of stones glowing with violet light. In the center of the stones lay the 6th crystal, violet like twilight, and as Juno picked it up she felt the wind whisper promises of magic. But they still needed the final crystal, white as starlight. Below them the waves roared, and Leo remembered the cave at the cliff's base where local fishermen spoke of a secret pool that shone by moonlight. So they climbed down on careful ropes until they reached a dark cave, and inside their lantern flickered when they placed the gold and violet panels against the walls, guiding them to a hidden pool deep in the cave whose water was smooth as glass and reflected the sky. And floating on that water lay a pure white crystal that glowed softly. Juno reached out and lifted the crystal, then gently placed it in the lantern's 7th panel, and at once the lantern shone in 7 bright colors, casting a rainbow circle on the cave walls. The cave walls trembled with a gentle hum as if the lantern spoke a song of thanks, and the soft voice whispered, "Thank you, brave souls. You have returned my 7-star crystals and restored my rainbow light." And Juno and Leo watched in wonder as the lantern floated up a few inches, spun slowly to show each glowing panel, then settled back into Juno's hands, warm and alive. They climbed from the cave as the sun set, and when they reached the village square they held the lantern high and its rainbow glow lit every face and made everyone cheer, for the villagers had never seen such a beautiful sight. And from that day on, the lantern stood in the center of the square to welcome travelers and remind children that kindness, courage, and teamwork can bring even the dimmest light back to the world. And each night Juno and Leo stood by the lantern, wrote their next adventure in the notebook, and knew that no matter how dark the path, a brave heart and a helping hand could always shine a star.